Welcome back, MTG Joe here, and we're back finally with some gameplay content. I'm a little bit more settled into my new place, so thought we'd get some games in. I haven't played much with the season reset. We're still at Plat 4 after finishing around like 99% Mythic last month. And what I thought we'd start off with is just an update on the deck I've played probably the most out of any deck recently in Arena. It is my version of Mono Red Aggro in Best of One. There's a few versions of this deck going around. You'll note it'll be kind of built around the concept of Reckless Ringleader, giving a creature in your hand perpetually haste. So some versions are playing Annex and Embercleave and Torbrand. I kind of find that version too slow. What I'm playing is really an anti-life gain version with a bit more interaction and card advantage. So our anti-life gain, Roiling Vortex, deals damage to your opponent on each upkeep. You as well. If your opponent basically cheats out things, so think they cast Mizzix Mastery, Arcanist, stuff like that, they take 5 damage. And you could also turn off life gain for 1 red mana. Then we also have Rampaging Ferocidon, pings when creatures enter the battlefield and also turns off life gain. So both of these really shut down like the Squirrel Twin combo, Lightning Helix, incidental life gain that might be present in the format. And then I'm opting for the creature package. I don't want 4 Chain Whirlers. There's not really a huge amount of X1s. It's usually the Squirrel combo, but that's usually something if by turn 3, it's okay, but you don't always want it. In the mirror, it's fine, depending on how they're situated in terms of creatures. But a couple copies, like against something like Elves, in theory, it's a good card, but they have Lords, so it ends up getting larger than their actual board. And then what we also have, I'm playing 4 Fanatical Firebrands. A couple reasons for this over Fervent Champion. They both have haste, they're both 1-drops. Fervent Champion's only really good if you get it in multiples. The first strike sometimes can be relevant, but more so when you're playing more burn than just stomp at instant speed. The reason for this, it's a play on 1 that's a creature that can also deal with like a Soul Warden or creatures like that. It could stack with stuff like Stomp or our Static Discharges to deal additional damage. So I like those in that place. A card that I'm trying out now is a 1 of Kari Zev. I just wanted to keep the Burning Tree package, maximize the amount of double spells we can do. Robber the Rich, I've tried Rahilda, but just it being a single like card of being a wolf doesn't do too much in this deck. Static Discharge is a card I very much liked. Having removal, especially for the mirrors, and then that could also be pointed face. That scales with the more copies you draw. I've won many games off this card. Bone Crusher Giants, and then a couple copies of Chandra as a card advantage. My mana base, I'm playing some Castle Embereths over the 4th Den. It makes our weenie creatures get a little bit larger, especially with something like First Strike. And then just some Ramanat Ruins for additional damage. So I think I'm like... Let's check this out. I think I'm like 70% win rate with this deck. We'll pop into some games. Historic. Best of One. Mono Red. Let's go. So this season and last season, I'm at 70% win rate, 56 and 24 with the deck. Reanimator tends to be a bit of an issue for the deck. I would say that's probably one of the harder ones. Auras could be difficult at times. It really depends on what their draw is like. Opponent goes first, but we can triple spell on turn 2 with the potential Slivers in this economy. This first strike, Slivers actually could be kind of annoying with the first strike. We'll see how big they're going. So the decision here we have to make is... So I'm not going to hit a card off them. So I think we are... I think we could blow them out potentially next turn with a stomp. Depending on how they block. Because they might treat the first strike damage, or they just cascade. Yeah. Things I wasn't expecting to run into. I have not purposely geared up for the Sliver matchup, I can tell you that. Taking them off the mana might have been wise, but I think like the first strike's probably more relevant because we couldn't be able to attack in. Not gonna get past a 9 power first strike. Alright, get that rest off. This hand's very good. So I usually like leading on this when you have like BTE. Oh. Even just with like giving Burning Tree haste is super relevant. Okay, so some sort of Jeskai gamer. We don't know if they're on combo yet. They could be a Dragonstorm combo, they could be straight control. Okay, so they wisely main phase that. And I think at this point I just want to keep up protection. Or the life... not protection, anti-life gain. If we can deal 3 a turn. So I want to hold up the actual lifelink protection here. Let them react. Okay, if they're gonna Fateful Absence, I think we just take advantage here. If they Helix us, doesn't change the race too much. That kind of signals to me they don't have Wrath of God. Oh, they did. Alright. So, it's a turn 4 format. Kill or be killed. Let me know in the comments what you've been playing. Like, I haven't been playing too much Historic recently. But we'll be jamming some Arena Cube in the next couple days. I tried out some Dragonstorm. Kind of felt cheap. I usually like these creature style decks. Might try out some Luristless Arcanist. Seems like another decent deck. Unique New York. This hand is Gasoline. We're professionals, so we draw our 2 dens. no sense of attacking this turn. So hopefully this isn't line destruction. Sack. So we'll get Kari Zev going. What I don't know is if these versions... So they're not on Jangantha, so they could be Citadel. I don't know if they're on Meat Hook now. Okay, we only play 3 of those in the deck. Alright, Regavan! Regavan! Get some chip damage in here. They could technically Meat Hook next turn. They'd have to wipe their board. That lets me play out a Robber afterwards. They could also... Mayhem Devil's pretty nasty on this board. It gets exiled, right? So that doesn't trigger Mayhem. It's been a while since we've run into Sack on the ladder. I might just go Vortex next turn. Get that going earlier. Because this can always attack him with haste. They could Coco as well, which makes my blocks worse. So they are line destruction. So I think we want to prioritize. We have a couple options here. Honestly, before they start blowing up more of my lands, this puts more of a clock on them. Let's just go Vortex here. We need a land. Need a land. We need a land. So I'm actually gonna do this to kill this. They can gain 3 life, but I want to take the goose off the battlefield. If they have the mutate one, seen Stone Rain out of them. We racing. We racing. It's an interesting inclusion. I wonder what they're playing with black for. It's a bit terrifying. Hey. I think we just need to take this off the battlefield. They could gain 3 life this turn, but interesting they chose to hit that, as that's the one that was they should have targeted the other one. I had to pay 2 damage for that one. Okay. The old Slivers and land destruction. Not what I had on my docket for today. We'll keep at it, see how we play out. $58, so on the play 78%, on the draw 56. So for a true professional, we will be on the play. Okay. Against Luris, I think this hand's fine. Golgari Food's very, very difficult matchup for us. So I usually just keep interesting decision here is if I'm going to actually play the Static Discharge. Look at that. Look at that. Professional Magic the Gathering player. Against this deck, I want to get cards out of my hand first. Come on, drop an Arcanist. It's a tad annoying. Or, you know, be good at Magic. It's an interesting decision. This is sorcery. We can let them fuel up a bit. We run the risk of not hitting. They have another claim to fame. Getting down a Roiling Vortex is really important in this matchup. Okay, so they have something at instant speed. Village Rites. That was a mistake on it's a fatal push. Yeah. Opponent's actually not playing super tight. They should have waited for me to get this to come into play. I could have gotten in an attack. I want to get this down. kill this. Now I can hold this up. Okay, Polaris for turn. I think we're just doing this. Can keep them off the life gain. They could play DRC as a blocker. That's huge. If they have Meat Hook, they have Meat Hook, but I doubt we're going to see... you could see Meat Hook with Pyro. Kind of an alt win con. Interesting they chose to do that now. I mean, if you keep letting me draw them, I'm gonna keep casting them. Alrighty. Leveling up. Let's go one more with the decks, see how it plays out. When our opponents don't drop turn 3, the first sliver, we can do pretty good, well for ourselves. Maxil. Professional Magic players. Okay, hopefully this is life gain, because they will have a very bad time. Again, I like leading on this over this because this has utility. And I'm actually just going to lead on this. Taking this off the battlefield is important because if they play like the 2-drop. Every life point matters in this matchup. So we really don't want them to have Skyclave Apparition. That's where we kind of get boned. We'll do this. Gotta keep up the anti-life gain this turn. I can attack with this. I mean, I'll do it again. See if they want to trade anything here. Okay. So after this turn, I'm probably going to keep up 2 counters. Or 2 mana, because they can Coco on either end step. Like, but we're ahead on board now. We can shut off Trelasara's life gain. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. Heliod being active is a bit annoying. Another Ferocidon would be good. I think we just take this. It's actually fantastic because this turns off Heliod here. Oh, it doesn't. It does not. I mean, I can force through some damage. They can eat. I think we just hold off here. We're ahead right now. Okay, so they have Coco. Or I guess Heliod, technically. This is a good bait. Actually, because if they give the life link, then they don't have collected company. If they had the 6 mana, it would have been a good bait, because then we would have had to take the attack with the life link, because they would have been able to Coco in response. Think here. Do this. Interesting. They opted for no lifelink there. Just pass the turn here. And this is really where you want to get. You just want to get ahead on the Rolling Vortex math, and then you be able to control their life. Them throwing away Trelasara, they could have activated Heliod there. So this is a activate here. Technically would have comboed off. Now they're dead. Get him, got him good. Dead. Dead, 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 dead. Anti-life gain mono red. Infinite life? Nah, not in these parts. Alright, so what we do? I think we went 5-1 or 4-1. Let's pull up the stats. 4-1. Only losing to Slivers, which I don't think we were going to win that game anyways, but on the play, they dropped turn 3 first Sliver. Mono Red, doing what it did. I was quite impressed with Kari Zev there. I don't know necessarily if I want to go up to another copy of it necessarily. Might be something we explore. Maybe it might be time to go back to Annex here over the Chain Whirler. If we look at what we saw today against... it could be decent, this one. This is better with the Torbrand because it's a one-sided board wipe, but we're not playing Torbrand because Torbrands kind of win more otherwise, I find. Might go that route. Try that out. There is also the option for something like Reckless Impulse. We could try out the Lightning Bolt Alchemy card, but it seems kind of bad. Just kind of playing with that. But that's the deck. Let me know what you think. If you've been jamming anything similar or cool decks in Historic. And we'll catch you next time. Stay safe out there. And if you can, it's greatly appreciated if you could drop a like, comment. And if you haven't done so, consider subscribing. Thanks for watching.